Once mitigation has been carried out, the question remains as to whether your system is actually secure. Determining that is called validation. There are a number of techniques for validation, and we'll discuss a few. Good security is designed in, not tested in. Good code quality is essential for security. Buggy code is probably insecure because it probably has vulnerabilities that can be exploited and attacked, such as buffer overflows and invalid input exceptions. You should use static analysis tools to find unsafe code structures, a stack checker tool to check for buffer overflows and stack overflows, and various other security tools to ensure that weaknesses you attempt to mitigate have really been taken care of. You should perform peer reviews to ensure code quality. To specifically address security, consider using a security-oriented coding standard such as the CERT C98 coding standard, which has concrete rules to avoid weaknesses. For example, one of the rules is that you should never use an unbounded string operation to avoid buffer overflow attacks. Even if you have good code, it still makes sense to do some security testing. Penetration testing typically involves using a list of known exploits to make sure your system is not vulnerable to the attacks that have already been incorporated into script-kiddie type tools. It may include other types of testing, such as fuzz testing for invalid input exploits and dictionary attacks on passwords. The idea of penetration testing is generally to go after the low-hanging fruit of security, which is a great idea. But it does not get you to 100% security alone. You can also do extensive penetration analysis by, for example, hiring or having an internal red team, which consists of expert attackers who see if they can find another security weakness. Again, this is a great idea, but it's always possible for a good attacker to think of something the red team didn't. It's important to design security in, do a reasonable amount of testing, and eventually realize that your system will probably be imperfect because of things you missed, even if they are only third-party software you use that has bugs in it. Additional problems can be that your customer does not follow the assumptions in your security case, such as, for example, putting a system directly on the internet when it was supposed to be behind a firewall. Thus, to be secure, you need to plan for defense in depth. Just like the castle shown in the picture, you need layers of defenses so that even if your attacker compromises one part of the system, it's hard for them to take over the entirety of the critical functions of the system. Finally, even if you are perfect at the time of release, the threat environment will change and you will find that you need to issue security patches to take care of emergent threats. Make sure you have a secure way to issue updates, keeping in mind that online updates are also a great way for an attacker to send Trojan horses your way. Thus, it's important to have a secure update and secure boot capability as part of your system.